Rams receiver Odell Beckham Jr. is playing in a Super Bowl in less than 48 hours. If we flash back to the beginning of the 2017 season, when Odell was on the New York Giants, he was on pace to be the greatest receiver in NFL history. I'm not in any way, shape, or form stating that he would have ever came close to being the best of all time. I don't think any receiver is ever going to come close to Jerry Rice. After 3 years in the NFL, Odell Beckham Jr. put up a combined 4,122 receiving yards and 35 touchdowns. He was on pace to be statistically the best receiver in football. Absolutely incredible numbers, and the future appeared to be extremely bright for Odell. If I told you in 2017 that he wouldn't be on the Giants, instead he'd be catching passes from Matthew Stafford in the Super Bowl, you would have called me crazy. But here we are, and it's for a number of different reasons. But for me, the biggest reason is because of how horribly Odell Beckham Jr.'s situation was mismanaged by Giants general manager David Gettleman. Odell Beckham Jr. is the most misunderstood athlete in the entire NFL. I think OBJ's passion has been twisted by the media and turned into something very negative for sensational purposes. Obviously, Odell Beckham isn't 100% in the right here. He is guilty of some things. The whole kicking the net debacle is obviously very bad. Punching a hole in the wall, etc. Those emotional episodes. Some of those things could have been viewed at times as a big distraction, but he was young, he was unaware, and he played for the New York Giants. He didn't want to be the center of attention. He didn't want to be the highest paid receiver in football. He wanted to win football games, man, and he wanted to win them in any way possible. We've seen other players throw hissy fits on the sidelines before. We've seen Aaron Rodgers smash tablets.
Throwing that Surface tablet is Aaron Rodgers.
We've seen Tom Brady get into screaming matches.
Not to the liking of Hockey League. Wow.
Why don't those guys get criticized? The Giants shipped Odell Beckham Jr. to the Browns because he was a quote-unquote pain in the ass. Yup, that's an actual report, and that's the actual quote. Former GM Dave Gettleman said, part of the responsibility of being a general manager is to eliminate distractions. Gettleman also said at one point, we didn't sign Odell Beckham just to trade him. Odell Beckham wanted to win a Super Bowl. He didn't want to stick with the status quo in New York, and he was painted as the villain for it. It's been hard for Beckham to shake that villain portrait to this day, and obviously his time in Cleveland did not help the situation. Honestly, for me, I view things the exact same way. Beckham could have handled things better in Cleveland. You could tell there was a rift between himself and Baker Mayfield. I don't know if he had anything to do with his dad's social media criticism of Baker. I'm going to give OBJ the benefit of the doubt here and assume he didn't. But at the end of the day, Baker is 100% the main problem in Cleveland. The proof is in the pudding. As OBJ is balling out with the Rams, Matthew Stafford is 2 times the quarterback that Baker Mayfield is, and the Rams are winning with Odell on the team. You can honestly make the argument that the Rams wouldn't be in the Super Bowl without Odell Beckham Jr. on the roster. All of a sudden, now that Odell Beckham is on a winning team, the narrative has shifted. No whispers of OBJ being a distraction, no ESPN interviews without the team's permission, no cryptic tweets, none of that. All these things happened during Beckham's time with the Browns and Giants because those teams were inept and unable to build a sustainable winning program. With Beckham's sometimes over-the-top emotional episodes and his feisty personality, he was the easy target. However, Odell Beckham clearly got the last laugh. The Browns and Giants will be sitting on the couch this Sunday as they watch their former star wide receiver have a chance to win a Super Bowl. Something those franchises didn't believe they could do with Beckham on their roster.